guys, welcome back to Work in Progress. And for the first time in the history of this program, show, whatever you want to call it, well, I like to call it a show, but we have the same guest for the second week running. Whoa!
I know. Just
Say
out
hi to
here,
Hanisah.
just out here making history.
It must be great to make history as a woman on this show.
Especially on this show, please.
All right. So, for this show, what we're doing is revisiting the Vallejo color shifters. We tried them last week, but we kind of messed up a little bit because we failed to read the instructions. Being the man that I was, right? Because we don't read instructions; we just go get into it, right? And it's
Okay, to be fair, we did only get these colors like 10 minutes before shooting.
true.
So everybody was just very excited.
Very excited, and we just grabbed the first thing that was already primed. So the instructions say best results over a black gloss coat. Right. So today I managed to get us gloss black primed sequitors, and we'll
These were the same things we did last week.
Yes,
to be
correct,
sure.
correct. All right. So we're going to try, and yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm really excited. I'm already
Yay.
excited.
All right, so like last week was your first shot at miniature painting,
It
right?
was.
How did you find that?
I loved it. Honestly, I was very surprised. I thought I was going to have to like act my way through it. Just like, this is
Mhm.
interesting. But I ended up finding myself like looking for it. So
Ah.
like throughout the week, looking forward towards this, and like kind of like when I'm hanging out with my friends, I'd be like, you know what would be cool right now while we're talking? Painting miniatures. And my friend's like, this is not a conversation we've ever had before.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I really
Alright, so what do you normally do with your friends then?
normally we talk, we make TikToks, she's a little bit of a TikToker. Well, look at you trying to get into the trends.
I don't. I made one and then I was like, okay, I couldn't.
Which one did you make? Is it like the famous one?
No, I think it was the I look. What was it? It
What
was
was
the
it?
I don't look thick until I turn around check.
Oh dear! Oh dear!
And then I was like, okay. And then I didn't have time to do it anymore. So it's like, okay, that's a lot of time, energy, and effort
True.
gone
Honestly.
into it. And I know like a lot of people get so much flack for like, oh my god, TikTok. But they don't understand. There's so much artistry that comes into it. There's a lot of
Honestly.
practice.
I'm gonna sound like such a loser, but like I showed you guys a TikTok. If you guys want to see my TikToks, it's on my Instagram. Plug.
What's your Instagram if people want to follow you?
I mean, it's actually really private.
Oh, okay.
So like, if you're cute, maybe I'll accept your request. No, but yeah, like I was making TikToks with my friend at like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, those like 10 seconds, 15-second videos, they take an hour to master.
Really?
They genuinely
Wow.
do. Honestly. And we were like, sweat was rolling down our head, like rolling down our faces at that point. It was ridiculous.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could call it an art. I would accept art as the
But the final outcome
what?
is like somewhat artistic. Right? It's a form of art. I think.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think
like,
so. Yeah, because there's also like different things, right? Because it's just a platform, right?
Mm.
Essentially, it's just a platform, so you can do whatever art you want. There are people who actually post their own art, so they kind of just like do that thing where they show the paintings that the color palette that they want,
True,
and then they would
true.
kind of tell
like a
them like,
speed paint. So
yeah, speed paint, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it is a form. It's a way to express art. I assume. To kind of like get your art out there.
I see. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, you could totally do that with miniature painting, and I bet you so many people would still kind of just like.
I think you're not wrong.
Exactly.
I think this is a really untapped like
Market.
exactly,
telling you,
right? Just to get
TikTok-
people to like, what's going on? It's like just 15 seconds of people just just
It's
doing
like the first 10 seconds is just this, and then suddenly it's like.
this. Wow. I don't know. But that's something we can explore actually.
We really
I'll bring
could.
it up.
I'm a
Wow.
really well, look at me just promoting TikTok for no reason.
No, but I think it's really really interesting to see how different people perceive how art and how to bring it further, how to promote it. But okay, let's say for example, right, this particular area of art, right, miniature
Yes.
painting, and wargaming, we don't see a lot of women.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't, and
This conversation is gonna come up right now.
yeah,
Oh, this is a discussion that
Let's
we're gonna
go there.
have.
Let's go there.
Let's go there.
Right? And I'm on YouTube a lot, and one
Yeah.
of the videos was this discussion about how there's a lack of women in the wargaming community,
Okay.
and wargaming is quite vague, But usually you have like the historical wargamers, and you have like these fantasy wargamers.
Does this count as like those people who dress up in history?
No, not really. It's the one who play on the tabletop. And they've got like armies and going.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were like asking, oh, why aren't why is it always so male dominated? Why aren't there any women?
Yes.
So do you feel that it perpetuates that stereotype that women only like certain things, and
Yeah.
war and all this and fighting, even though it's on the tabletop, may not be so appealing.
I don't know. I genuinely believe that women can do whatever they want. I mean, that's the general consensus,
true,
right? Women
true.
can do whatever they want, and that's fine or whatever. But also, there could be people in the gaming community that maybe not be as welcoming
Okay.
towards them. Maybe not. Maybe it's a platform that they are interested in, but it's a platform that they're not exactly welcome.
True. Like maybe like potentially bullying, that sort of thing.
I mean, bullying. I don't know. What would you think?
I mean,
would you categorize that as bullying?
I guess it would depend, on like what exactly is going on, and I would definitely be able to imagine a situation or a scenario where a woman does try to go in, and then typically would get mansplained.
Yes.
Correct.
That's just life. That seems more like a life situation more than just. Yeah, definitely.
But particularly more in instances where it's already so male dominated. Gaming is so male dominated. Like video games, for example, is so male dominated. When a woman goes climbs up the ranks and becomes one of the top players in the world, they still don't agree, or they doubt her capabilities.
Which is ridiculous because she's on top.
Exactly.
And as much as everybody could be like, no, everybody's on equal levels. There's also an understanding. I don't know, maybe it's between women, maybe like the men on that side don't really completely see it, but the obstacles and the obstructions that you're going to have as a person who is, because especially with video games, you're using your headphones, right? And you're listening to people talk, and they're going to know, and you have to talk in order to kind of work with each other, and they're going to hear a female's voice.
Yeah.
And the conversations that the males will be having
will
towards
not
those
be.
women
Yeah,
will
exactly, right?
Yeah, so being a top gamer as a woman is, as much as it sounds, I don't know how this is going to come off, but being a top gamer as a woman is probably a bigger achievement than being a top gamer as a male.
Okay.
I see, because I see so many more obstructions that they would have had to go through, as opposed to men who were welcomed kind of.
It's kind of, this is,
yeah.
I'm automatically welcome. I can do it. There's no barriers.
Because I know a few of my friends who do game and stuff, and it's so, and I was seeing them kind of with their headphones and stuff, and I was like, okay, what do these people talk about? Because you're kind of like across the internet, so it's anybody. It could be someone from Germany, America, wherever, and then you would hear these men who are just like, oh, if she died once, and everybody dies eventually in those video games, it's just like, it's just because she's a woman, and then they would say terrible things, or if she is really great, they would really sexualize her, and I'm kind of just like, I remember just being like, this is so scary to hear. Why are you here, and why are you listening to this, and why are you taking this? And then she was just like, it just comes with the territory. If I'm gonna be here and I want to have fun here, there's gonna be people who are, and we're kind of just like made to accept it.
But it's really sad though,
Yeah.
to come into it going, you know what, I enjoy this, but in order to enjoy this, I need to endure this side of it. And it sucks because there's nothing in the game, there's nothing in the rules that say, oh, when a female player comes into the
Please
into the play,
make fun of her.
Yeah.
It's just like, you are open fire, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty terrible.
And I read somewhere, and it's not just for like young women. There was this grandmother who was doing quite well in one of the games. I forgot what it was, but one of these like first person shooters lah. And she just couldn't handle the bullying.
Oh.
Because once she was old and she was a woman and she was like owning everybody. So they were just telling her to just, stay home, just like, do something else.
Yeah.
So it's a very like
A lot of the
insecurity.
conversation also is kind of just like, no, we bully the males too. Yeah, they would say like, oh,
But no,
we're
different.
we're talking smack about these men too. If you can't handle it, get out of the game. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, but it's different. You root it from a different kind of evil, where it's just like, oh, if you kind of, because to another man it'd be like, oh, you suck, or like, you're so not good at this game, or you're so not you're so bad at this, whatever. Whereas with women, it's kind of just like things that you grow up with. They're like deep rooted misogyny, and it's kind of just like, so that the level is not the same. If you were to call me like, oh, that play sucked, you sucked in that, whatever you were doing, then yeah, sure, I'll take that. If it's the same form as, I don't know, bullying as you're giving to these other male players, but you're not. The fact of the matter is, you're not doing it.
And it's important that when, I'm not saying all, some bullying is fine, but I think it's the meaning behind what is being said differs based on the gender, based on who you are, basically, right? Like, men are always shown to be quite like rough, like physically, verbally, and they just kind of accept that, oh, okay, we're just like that. We just like, we talk smack.
Boys
and it's
will
fine.
be boys.
Exactly, right? But not all boys are like that as well. Some will be like, okay, I can't handle this. This is like, no, my feelings are hurt. I have feelings too. Son of a flip table and
Just like start flipping the table.
You
I'm talking about everybody outside right now. Just all the guys behind the camera right
Going.
now, just like recording us. Are you talking about us?
Yeah, and it's like, it's a bit, it's shameful because you want people to enjoy the activity, you want people to enjoy the game, and have it at that. That's it.
Definitely.
Right?
I think stereotypes are just generally very dangerous.
Yeah,
to have.
especially gender stereotypes.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. It's terrible.
And okay, going into gender stereotypes, right? It also doesn't help that the sort of the miniatures that we're painting right now, you find that a lot of them are male.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it's like this guy. Okay, I'm gonna say guy, right? Because based on his physique and the armor type, is male. But right, there are so few female figures.
Is there actually very few?
Very few. These guys, the Stormcast.
What percentage would you kind of say?
Like maybe 20 to 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, okay, the miniatures that we're having right now, right? The Stormcast have a 50-50.
Oh!
Yes. So there are actually some female molds, since that you can see their heads. You can see from the waist and the breastplate. Very significantly female.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea that.
Yeah. Sorry we couldn't have female models for you.
Also coming in and I bet you it's gonna be another male miniature. What a jerk.
But no, they actually have female counterparts. So that's
nice.
like when I found out, I was like, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty fair of them.
And it's so funny because it's like you would see how shocked we would be. We're just like, what? Really? Because clearly that's not the norm. That like we're not expecting the same level of
exactly.
Really
And with the lore, like with the story that comes with Warhammer, right? Space Marines, which is like one of the most popular factions, there are no women because in that story, all of the they're all men. They're just regenerated men. They're just selected and all of this because their genome is supposedly like more superior. Supposedly, right? And then like you have other factions who are very like only female, like the Slanesh, for example, and they are very not so much human wise, but they're very like succubuses and all of this, very demonic, very dark, wear barely little anything.
It's always kind of really funny to see the stereotypes that come through even tiny little things like these, because clearly like both of those things were made up. Like these are not based on like
exactly
real life things. They're like no women are like succubus. Like like that's not.
I don't know how many women do you know.
How many women do you know? Comment down below.
Do you appreciate being?
No, but yeah, it's kind of like the stereotype has really kind of gone not only in just real life, but it's really deeply ingrained in everything at this point.
Correct.
And it's really and maybe have you ever thought just for a second, if you had a few more of these girlies and they're super beautiful, we would also want to paint them, because I would like to paint a beautiful woman who I'd be like, yeah, I look like that,
So what if I told you, right, there are like actual whole boxes where they're all women?
That'd be really fun.
You would?
Yeah, that would be really interesting to kind of have.
Yeah, because they are.
They are?
Yeah. I painted.
And are they like super sexualized? Like, what is the?
Not at all.
Oh.
The Sisters of Battle, for example, are like the female space marines. They've got the power armor. Their bodies are not just I put a female head
let's
on you.
just back up. Space Marines. Let's unpack that.
Okay.
What does that mean?
All right, so
Because Marines in my head is water.
oh, okay. Yeah, so the Space Marines are basically like soldiers. Basically soldiers. And that's like the most basic like
Term,
unit. And they go through different incarnations based on who they are under. Right? And all of these different factions and all these orders and all of this, right? So the Sisters of Battle are female space marines. They carry the same sort of power armor, they carry the same equipment, they just do things slightly differently. They have slightly different rules. They're basically nuns with guns.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was wondering. He was kind of like playing around the term, and then he was
they're
just
pretty cool. They're pretty cool. So you've got the armor, you've got the skirts, you've got the guns, you've got the flamers, the flamethrowers, and everything. So their part in this whole story is that they burn heretics.
What is heretics?
So somebody who goes
Just like
against the
layman terms
emperor.
back and again.
Yeah, so somebody who goes against the emperor. So anything that is like demonic, or like if you have psychic powers, their job is to kill you and burn you.
That sounds like a fun time.
Exactly.
That sounds like a really fun time, you guys.
Right? And they're just one example. Another example is are the Sisters of Silence. And and they're called Sisters of Silence because they are they have a special trait where psychic powers don't affect them at all. Like at all.
Are these all kind of like within the same?
No, they're slightly different. They're slightly different, but
Not
they're
the
all
same.
like gold and red. They serve the emperor directly. So these are female models which are placed on a higher category rather than we're like half naked.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
There's a degree of respect given to these female models.
And that's so great.
Yeah.
You see, the world is changing, you guys, and that's great. Changing for the better.
Inclusivity is
Definitely.
good. It's good.
I'm really excited about using these ones. I don't know if you can see them, but
I see you started, and it's looking pretty cool, actually.
You're lying to me because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the same thing that he's looking at, and it's not cute, you guys. I don't know if I could zoom it in somewhere. I'm probably gonna give it to someone. And it's not cute. But you know what? I'm going to come back next week and I'll do something better.
Yeah. Somebody was like pointing it out that
Look
like,
at me. I really just like, I'm looking at like your bosses now and everything, and I'm just like, I'm going to come back next week. I said it on camera, so you have to do it. I have to come back.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to have her for like a whole month from now.
Hey, I'm fun. I'm a fun person, and also I really like painting.
Awesome. You look like you're having a lot of fun with this.
I really am. The colors right now is just unbelievable.
So is it true what they say? It works best with a black background.
It really does, truly. I'm really happy that we made that change, that we're doing it on a black.
This particular color, you know, it reminds me of those beetles.
Beetles?
Yeah, the blue.
Yeah.
purple,
I know what
green
you're
beetles.
calling. What are they called?
I have no idea.
There's like a specific name for them, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what I want to make the face to be. You guys have to understand that I'm not at all doing anything that's even close to the real color scheme.
It's okay. It's okay.
I made a purple. So I guess below here is supposed to be like grass or land.
It's like rocks and
rocks.
bricks.
See, I just made my rocks purple. So that, if that gives you an idea of kind of
No, but you see, it's
the
fine
fantasy.
because this is fantasy.
Right.
Yeah. It's not even the real life.
That's true. It would be really weird if someone in real life was walking around. Not gonna lie, it would be a little bit of a.
We could be the first.
Hey, I love this fit. He's got a skirt. His shoes seem comfortable. I would wear this.
True.
Right?
If only it wasn't so freaking hot here.
Also, it's like, I assume the arm, whatever, the chest plates and stuff are crazy heavy.
True.
Well, are we discussing about
The practicality.
potentially wearing costumes?
I mean, there are people who eventually have like made foam armor to emulate, and they walk around in the as Space Marines.
Where do they walk?
Well, not here, but I've seen photos and videos.
So, is there a convention that would?
Normally, that's where they would be. Like
So
cosplay
what conventions? Cosplay conventions.
Yeah, cosplay conventions.
Okay.
Sometimes conventions like Dragon Con, where it's a bit more fantasy based.
What's Dragon Con?
Yeah, so it's Dragon Con is like a convention where it brings like more of these fantasy based. So tabletop games, trading card games.
So this is where people like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that my only kind of like
hook.
Yeah, hook is
your
Dungeons
anchor.
and Dragons.
Your anchor is Dungeons
It's just
and
like
Dragons.
so like Dungeons and Dragons, and you have to everything you explain is kind of just like no, not like Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, kind of a little bit like Dungeons and Dragons.
We're getting there. This is your middle ground.
Yeah, that's my middle ground, definitely. It's because it's the only game I've ever kind of like been exposed to. Yeah, and last week I kind of saw them play Warcry a little bit, but then I had to leave.
Okay. Warcry is a game that uses these models.
Are you using it? Oh,
yeah. And it's supposed to be easier especially for people just like entering.
Is anybody gonna play my?
You never know. You never know.
I'm gonna try to make someone play using my miniature. I bet you nobody. They're just like, please, only if you pay us. Then we'll use your ugly ass miniatures.
Or like leave him here for like samples for newbies.
True.
To practice with.
True. You guys should make this kind of like ask people to pay. And, like, you teach them miniature painting. Because this shit is addicting. Like, honestly.
It's like Zen.
It is.
On Sundays.
And the things you teach, the things that you're kind of, like, mentioning and explaining is actually interesting. Like, it's actually really cool and stuff.
So how close would you be to, like, buying your own box and then painting?
See. I'm a lot closer to wanting to go to miniature classes and painting with my friends and stuff than actually like investing in this whole thing. I see. So I think that would be really
I think that's
cool
a pretty good market for it though. You know, like one afternoon, get your friends together. These are the paints and stuff.
Yeah, because it's not even that niche. Because everybody wants to kind of have something to do, especially like in the country that we're in and everything. And this is a really good afternoon to be spending.
Okay, like. How many hours would you because like with me you're only about 45 minutes an hour into it.
This would be like an hour and a half or 2 hours in.
Yeah,
you could you completely paint Oh my gosh, your skirt is beautiful.
Thank you.
We need to get a close up. That's beautiful.
So this one was like with a Thousand Suns blue, and then I went over with a gold pale blue. So still trying out, but yeah, I love it.
I'm
I
very
love
happy.
it.
I love it so much. Holy moly.
All right. So, anyways, thank you so much for
I'm done, by the
sitting
way.
down. You're done?
I want you just to know.
Okay, I'm just like pauldrons and a skirt. You're a lot
It's
faster
fine.
than me.
But yours is also a lot better than mine, so we won't talk about that.
It's okay. All right. So, thank you very much, Nisa, for joining me today and sharing your female perspective on hobbies and games. It's very insightful. It's very valuable, and I think it's a very big message to girls out there. You know what? Don't let the hobby stop you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
You know? Screw 'em. Edit this out.